Well, as you see today, we are going to talk about interesting topic, and as you see the title, we're going to talk about women addicted to pornography. And you may be asking some questions like, why Christian do you even record videos like that? Well, first of all, this is a project that I was researching for I think since October or maybe like late September. So the first reason is just simple human curiosity because I know the negative side effects of guys who watch pornography because I was also a porn addict who was addicted to this shit for 7 8 years, and I know how it was to be like you, right? The person who tries to quit, the person who was addicted, but I didn't know how women react to pornography because I know about men, right? But I but I don't know how but I didn't know how women actually reacted to this and how they feel about pornography, the negative side effects of it. So this is just a simple human curiosity. And the second reason is I just want to help this world, right? And I think that this topic is not talked about enough. Like you hear every time, the guys telling their stories of how they were addicted to pornography, right? And how it changed their lives, of course, to the worst. But you barely hear about um, women addicted to pornography. And you may think that this problem doesn't even exist. And and if you think like that, you're obviously fucking stupid because this problem exists, but just women don't talk about it enough as often as men. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. I named I was researching through many articles, and I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots of the most important reasons why women are addicted to pornography. Believe me, guys, I found some articles. It was you had to quite like dive deep a little bit, but it was not that hard to find. So I'm going to no throughout this video you will going to see screenshots, and I'm going to talk about it. And yeah, so without further ado, let's just go to the video right now. So before I start talking about those reasons, even though, well, listen, like society thinks that that this porn problem, we can call it like that, is only a men's problem, right? It's only a men's problem, and for most of the ain't for, and they're kind of right because women, the guys are get tend to be more like they just get addicted. They get addicted to this stuff easier. Women who are addicted to porn is what I have managed to found is like 20 to 30% at highest, right? But listen, we don't know because women are not going to admit to this stuff, watching this stuff or maybe reading some like eroticas or some shit, right? Because basically reading eroticas is for me is just basically the same as just like pornography, just by in literature. But yeah, um, so officially, what I managed to find is about 20 to 30%. But listen, women are not going to admit to this stuff as often as guys. So I think this percentage can be a bit more higher, but still it is still a problem that needs to be solved because it's not only ruining guys but it's also ruining women. So yeah, so my point in making this video is just help you guys just get this your stuff out of the way. I mostly help guys. This video is only for women, but if you're a guy or interested in this stuff, you can watch it wherever. You can also learn. This video is just for science, right? It's mostly for learning. But yeah, yeah. So let's go to the first reason. The first reason, the first negative side. So the first occurring negative side effect for women who watch porn, who are addicted to pornography, the that was the all that was I think the constant in most of the articles that I managed to found is negative body issues. negative body issues are more are tend to be more not dangerous, but I tend to be more they are worse in women. Women when they are addicted to porn, they have way more negative body issues, negative like this negative image about themselves, about their bodies when it comes to men. And as I was reading through those articles, right, I just looked looked through my life when I was addicted to pornography, and I just thought to myself, I mean, yeah, this is true. This is absolutely true because when I was addicted to this shit, I didn't have problems with like negative self. I didn't have problems with negative self-image because this is the um like all around thing when people get addicted to pornography, but the body issues, at least in my experience, and probably in experiences of any other guys, I didn't have problem with this. Or maybe I don't remember, but I can 100% guarantee you that I didn't have problem with this. But I but again, as I was reading through this, I can 100% believe this because imagine like you're a girl addicted to pornography, maybe for a couple of months, couple of years, whatever, and you watch those fucking porn actresses with big tits, big butts, fake lips, small waist, and after this fucking gooning session, you go to the mirror and you look at yourself, and the girl looks at herself, and she's like, why am I not like this porn actresses? Why am I not why am I ugly? Like, is something wrong with me? Why I don't look like those actresses from the porn video I have watched, right? And this is something that really can fuck up your mind. This is something that, people think that pornography is, it's not, it's only a man's problem. It's not women's problem, right? But this problem, this negative body image is something that can really fuck up your mind, right? Because we as guys, I believe we don't have that problem with negative body image. But with women, I can 100% believe that. And when guys watch porn, it also gets fucking worse. They watch those fucking porn actresses who moans like a fucking goose, who looks just fake as fuck. And they get with a girl and they look at her whilst they're going to fuck. And they look at her like, why doesn't she have big tits like Brandy Love does? Or why doesn't she moan like a fucking truck? Like a truck's horn, And I think that men created this problem, honestly, because they tend to have those big fucking expectations. And women also, they're addicted to pornography and they look at those fucking fake porn actresses and they wonder women's self-esteem goes down and they look at those porn actresses as like, why am I, why I don't look like her? And again, I've showed you the screens, right? Um, Yeah, this is the most occurring thing that I have found is women are tend to be more not aware but are tend to be more um to be more prone to those negative body image because again, as we said, men are not as prone to this thing, but women are 100% more prone to this shit, you know, especially if a girl is like deep into her addiction, like a couple of years, she watches some fucking just unhuman stuff or whatever. She just watches some just fucking degenerate stuff. It's just really fucks up a person's mind. But what can I even say more? Again, I showed you the screens. I can even show you more. But I think, yeah, let's just quickly summarize it. Women are tend to be more prone to negative body image. Now they see those porn actresses with big butts, fake lips, fake tits, or whatever, and they wonder why they don't look like this, or is something wrong with me? I'm ugly. All of those, they say those bad things about themselves. And yeah, this can really fuck up a girl's mind. And honestly, I can already tell you, like, I was also former porn addict, and listen, it's probably illegal, but if I was in the charge of my country, I would just block all of the fucking porn sites, right? Simple as that. OnlyFans, Pornhub, RedTube, whatever the sites there are, I will just simply fucking block them because it's ruining people's lives. Simply, it's ruining people's lives. But yeah, let's just go to another negative side effect. So another point I'm going to make why like women are addicted to pornography, like the negative side effects of women who watch pornography, is what I have managed to find is more shame and guilt. And I'm going to put like in the last point, I'm going to put screenshots throughout the video so you can read them and pause them. But you will also, as I said, you will have the full articles in the description if you want to read them. But again, what I have managed to find is women are more affected by shame and guilt, and I'm not even surprised. You know why? I'm going to read this one screenshot. Another sign of the social bias is the lack of research on women who are addicted to pornography. The stigmas and social biases make women feel more guilty and alone in their addiction. It's still taboo to discuss a woman's porn use. I don't think it's taboo, but it's just a topic that people don't really know much about. And I'm kind of a guilty about this myself because I mostly talk about guys who are addicted to pornography. That's my job. But I've never really know how women like how women view pornography, right? I've never really knew this. No, I know that I knew back then that women can be addicted to pornography, but I just kind of assumed that women are probably just mostly probably the same this negative side effects as guys, right? But it's but what I've managed to find is it's mostly the same in quite some points, but there are some points that women are different when it comes to being addicted to this stuff. So women just feel more shame and guilt because as this screenshot said, it's still a taboo to discuss a woman's porn use, and also women just don't talk about this topic enough. And we're going to talk about this. So let's go through another screenshot that I have here. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to make cuts. I just don't want to do this stuff. Okay. It's probably going to be a bit more controversial, but I don't know what I managed. I don't know why I put it, but I just thought it. I just thought that it was useful here. When we use pornography, the last thing we're thinking about is what the future holds for the people on screen. Ex porn star Brittany Ruiz told us a lot of people who make bad decisions don't do it on camera. Pornography is made for the world to see forever. Forever. Brittany has left the industry behind and is now married to a pastor and her church. But the contracts she signed when she was younger give porn companies the legal right to profit from her images and videos indefinitely. Another ex-porn star mourns the fact when she has children someday, they'll be able to search her name online and find her former life. Well, porn affects the dignity and humanity of others by transforming them from a fully dimensional person to someone we just consume for our own pleasure. Uh, um, it's probably kind of off topic. You probably wonder why I put this here. It's off topic, but this is just an example of I don't take accountability for my life. Uh, but even if you want to be devil's advocate here, like yes, it's going to affect the mental health of those former porn stars, right? In some way or another. But this is just I put this screenshot here just to tell you, I don't take accountability for my life moment, basically. But yeah, as I said, even if you want to play devil's advocate, well, it's going to affect your mental health. When you're going down the street and people just fucking mocking you. I don't know, you suck 10 dicks or whatever. Yeah, it's going to affect you, but listen, you just have to take accountability for this. So I just put this on the video just to say for the women who are watching this, don't do porn, really. Just be accountable and think about your fucking future. Yeah, this is just a sign of the woman they don't take accountability. We don't take accountability our moment. I don't know why I even put this here. I just just wanted to mention this. Okay, another point. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of a little bit sick, but I hope that you can hear me quite good. Okay. Jesus, the sun. Sorry, my half of my face is fucking white. All right. There's a false assumption that porn use. Wait, boys, just to cover the sun. It's still shit. All right. Oh, it's better. There's a false assumption that porn use and addiction is a men's issue, leaving women to struggle in silence. While accountability and recovery groups for men abound, safe spaces for women to talk about their porn addictions are essentially non-existent. The fact is that the sexual templates for both boys and girls are increasingly based on porn. Girls are being turned on by sexual violence. Colette, a 23-year-old wife and mom of two kids who, okay, whatever the story, right? But yeah, I can read this. Colette, a 23-year-old wife and mom of two kids who's overcoming a porn addiction, told me that her addiction began with romantic soft core porn, but gradually morphed into a desire, her violent, degrading acts, and in her words, I cut this because that's not important here, at least right now. So, you see, and also girls think that another point that the girls struggle more, with more shame and guilt because they think that there's only a guy's issue. Maybe not they think, but all society overall think when they think about porn addiction, they mostly think about the guys, and they be quite right about it. They quite right in some way or another because listen, most of the people who consume the sexual content are guys, right? And approximately about 30% of women watch porn. I'm going to put statistics in here if I didn't put them in the earlier stages of this video, just for your own knowledge uh, and for my mind to be sane. But yeah, world just thinks that this is only a men's issue when we have all of the channels, who people who are telling their stories how they were addicted to pornography. But there's one pattern about this that there are mostly guys, right? And there are not a lot of women who are talking about this because they feel shame and guilt, and they believe, women believe that they're the only ones that they're addicted. And you basically about the safe spaces, you don't you don't have that much about. You don't know really much about those safe spaces because they are really maybe not underground, but there's not really a lot of them. There's sorry, but there's not really a lot of them. For guys, you basically have you will type, well, no, porn addiction, safe space, bro, boom, you will have one. But when you really want to look for a safe space with all this space that people can talk about their porn addiction, women can talk about their porn addiction, you would have to quite dive deep. Maybe not a little. You would have to search for a little bit. Uh, I think this is just a society's problem, and their lack of just knowledge about this addiction. So that's why I'm making this video. I'm making this video to spread this message that hello, women can also be addicted to this, and they also have the negative. They also have the fucking negative consequences of watching this shit. So that's why I'm spreading this message. You know, Jesus, having stuffy nose is shit, boys. All right, what do we have again? This. All right. Okay. Social biases towards women versus men. Though men and women are affected by pornography, there seems to be a double standard regarding the social biases of the use of pornography among women. For many, it is permissible for men to be sexual, but for women, sexuality represents being immoral or sinful. A result of this double standard is the seemingly less attention that women receive in research regarding pornography. This stigma surrounding women's use of pornography also often leads to have increased feelings of guilt and isolation. With these stigmas and double standards preventing conversation about pornography among women, we notice that there is a desire to learn more about the connections between pornography, addiction, and forms of sexual exploitation. Yeah, we just, as I said again, there's the lack of knowledge. It's basically said the stigmas. Those the only men are addicted to pornography. Women cannot get addicted to pornography. Like, of course they fucking can. You can really in this world, especially in this modern world, you can really get addicted to anything. We don't have to even talk about those hard things like vapes, drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, weed, whatever there is. You can get addicted to literally fucking anything. Junk food, what I didn't mention this. But you can get addicted to fucking social media. You can get really addicted to anything. But yeah, just those stigmas, those just world. We would be probably having conversation about women watching pornography, but we don't because this world doesn't have the knowledge. And their knowledge is on the internet, but just people don't want to look this. Um, don't know why, but you have to really quite dive deep, and nobody wants to fucking do it. But yeah, this world doesn't have the knowledge. I've said it, but that's why I'm again. I know that I'm repeating myself, but this is really fucking important. I just wanted to make this video, just to spread the knowledge to this world, and just from my own like curiosity, you know. But let's go to another article, and I think the last screenshot. Okay, more impacted by shame. One of the biggest differences is the impact of shame. Pretty much all Christians, I don't know why they put Christians here. I think pretty much all Christians in particular who watch porn are kept entrapped by the shame cycle, a process by which people feel ashamed of their porn use and try to cover it up. They're verily only compounding the shame. For women using porn, shame plays a slightly greater role because porn is still treated like a man's problem. I've said it many times. World think that it is only a man's problem. And they're not they're not that mistaken um, because about 30% of women watch pornography and rest of this is men. So they're not so society is not that mistaken. In her book, Beggar's Daughter, Jessica Harris recounts having been caught with porn attached to her school ID. Just before she was about to confess, the administrator who caught her told her to protect her login information better because women just don't have, in quotes, women just don't have this problem. The conclusion that Jessica came to after that conversation was that she was the only woman to struggle like this. As she said, all hope for freedom crumbled. Eventually, she did find freedom, but her shame set her back years. The survey conducted with Crystal Reynolds Day indicates that this belief is very common. A whopping, and be ready, 98% of women said that they felt empty or shameful after viewing pornography, and 78% said they ever believed that they were the only woman who struggled the way they did. So I think this article just speaks by itself. Like, what do we even want to say about this? Again, the world think that is only a man's problem, as I've said many times. They don't want to talk. Women don't talk about this problem because they think that they're the only ones, and they think like that because society thinks that this is only guys' problem. Women just don't struggle with it, and like I don't know, stop being addicted, whatever. If you're homeless, just buy a house. Statement. um, but this is this statistic. Like 98% of women said they feel empty or shameful after viewing pornography. Um, that's fucking this is the disgrace, right? The bollocks, bro. Like the absolute disgrace. But yeah, this we have to spread this message. Like that's why I'm making this video, just to spread this message, just to speak about it. Because there are people who struggle with this, not only guys but women also. And if this video can, I don't know, help someone, I'm very
I'm very keen on that. I want to help people. That's my goal on this channel. But yeah, so women are more impacted by shame because of mostly society's lack of knowledge. They think that it's only a guy's problem. Well, while I've told you in this video that this is not only guys' problem. Yes, guys struggle. Why? Yes, men struggle with this more often, but let's not forget about those 30-ish% that I've told you about. Yeah, they're not that enough safe spaces. Those places where you can be accountable. Where you just get help from other people who also struggle with this. There are not that many places where you can do those things. For guys, it's basically like you can find them easily, but for those women's like safe spaces, you would have to really dive deep. Yeah. And also women believe that they're the only ones who struggle with this because again, society doesn't have the knowledge about porn addiction. And just society just women don't struggle with porn. Don't It's only guys' problem. But yeah, so let's go to another point. Oh, let's ask ourselves a question. Why women get addicted to pornography in the first place? Well, if you would want to know an answer to this question, you would have to like in every other addiction, you would have to really dive deep because there are not that because there's not that simple. For some people, maybe simple why they got addicted because one friend that hooked them up with you see like for example when with they were in the IT like lessons whatever. One of your friends showed you like a screenshot or whatever, like this fucking porn actresses, and you came back home, you checked it for yourself, and the let's get the party started, right? But for most of the people, you would have to really dive deep. And for my experience, why I got addicted to this stuff? Well, for my in my experience it was that I didn't have a masculine father figure in my life. And you can say, Christian, why does it matter? Because if I would have a like a strong masculine father in my house, I don't think I would be addicted to porn and I wouldn't be addicted to video games. I wouldn't be addicted to like this bad eating habits. I wouldn't be addicted to any of this stuff because I would have a father figure in the house that would say to me that no, you can't always eat junk food. You cannot play video games. You cannot watch porn, right? Because this shit is addictive. It's going to keep you comfortable and it's going to keep you stagnant and you're going to cheat your brain that you're actually making something in your life, But in reality, while you're watching porn, you play video games, and you're only stimulating your brain and you're only achieving things in real life. You're only cheating your brain that you are actually achieving something. So we're going to really quite dive deep into it. But if you really, really want to dive deep, as again, I would have all of the articles in the description. If you have the time, read read every single one of them. Right? I'm not going to get any money from them. I made this video just um for my own right. I just wanted to help this world again. So, one of the points we have here is unhealed family wounds. I think this is also, I didn't mention this. No, I mentioned this not, I quite mentioned this because, I didn't have a father figure, not that he's dead, but no, he was just not in the house, he was not present, right? So, yeah, I was raised by a woman, right? But yeah, unhealed family wounds can lead to sexual addiction. Sex and porn addicts experience feeling of abandonment, anger, shame, and loneliness. They seek attention, intimacy, and love. That's what I also felt. I had my I had my grandma, right? But I didn't have this um this love, this feeling of love, sex, and intimacy from others. This feeling of love my from my father, right? The behavior that coincides with love, porn, and sex addiction is a substitute for emotional intimacy and romantic love. And that's what I've said in my video. Why Men get addicted to pornography because we lack love, sex, and intimacy, and we replace it with porn. But you cannot replace something real with artificial. It's not going to work. It can work short term. You can get a short term pleasure from porn and video games, but those things are easily hooked up. They can easily hook you up, right? That so the best thing that you shouldn't even be touching them in the first place. Porn, don't touch them. Porn, don't touch them with a fucking 10-foot pole. When it comes to video games, don't touch them by yourself. If you want to play video games, go to your just play them on a special occasion, like you go to your friend's house, right? But whatever. These feelings are derived from unhealed family wounds developed during childhood, according to the Center for the Study of Human Behavior. For both men and women, this could most likely be caused by the father wound, which is the absence of a father figure. That's what I've said. If man and woman they don't have a strong masculine father figure in the house, they will lack the knowledge of how this real world works. You can easily, you will not be told that young boys and girls they will not be told by the father because he's absent. For example, he's dead, he's absent, whatever. No, our father is not going to tell you that you shouldn't do this because it's addictive. That you shouldn't eat this too much junk food because it's going to keep you hooked up. You shouldn't play video games by yourself. If you have an absent father, who's going to tell you? Your mother is not going to tell you this stuff. Mothers are usually overprotective. Well, not usually. Mothers are overprotective, and we shouldn't blame them because they are mothers. They're mother instinct, right? But yeah, let's read the rest of it. The absence of a loving and supportive parental role can cause behavioral addictions such as porn and sex addiction. They use their addiction to fill in the hole in their hearts, which leads to crippling isolation and shame. Over time, they develop a skewed view of money, power, and sex. Yeah. So I also believe that I used this porn addiction just to fill the hole in my heart because I lacked, just love, sex, and intimacy. I had my mom, my grandma who loved me, right? But it just wasn't the same. I didn't have like outside people, who can say that they like me very much, who say that they love me, or just like a strong masculine father figure who's also telling me that I love you, son, right? And that's what I use pornography just to fill the hole in my heart because I lack love, sex, and intimacy. And if you're a guy, if you're a woman who are addicted to pornography, you use pornography because you lack love, sex, and intimacy from outside people and from from your own family. Simple as that. Sorry, boys. Okay, let's read again. Okay. Oh, not this. Here. Here. Okay. So the deeper reason women get addicted to porn. Porn does more than just create pleasure. There's an underlying meaning as to why people watch porn and become addicted to it. It could be an escape from stress or a shaky relationship. However, we'll never fully grasp the underlying reason behind it. I think that's true because when are you going to ask former porn addicts, why they got addicted to it? I think the answer, I don't think answer is going to be, yeah, I don't know. I think answer is going to be it's going to be quite different from one another. Maybe not by a margin, but I think the answer is going to differentiate. They're going to be different. Yeah. There are also differences in how men and women enjoy porn. Men are more into visual stimuli, whereas women are into touching and speaking, which is why they like porn that has a plot. It also explains the phenomenon behind movies like 50 Shades of Grey. So we're going to cover this first point. It could be an escape from stress or a shaky relationship. I believe that's true. I didn't experience it myself, because I was a loser a couple of years ago. So so me a couple of years ago in a relationship, I would just laugh at your face. But I believe so. Escape from stress. Yeah, if you have a stressful day, it could be, you got, you watch porn, you got, chilled up. But again, this addiction is so addictive. It's so stimulating that, you know, one hit is not going to be enough. You just want more, 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 and more. And then and then a couple of months ago, and then a couple of months later, you just got addicted. Yeah. So, yeah, escape from stress, shake your relationship. The last points that I made. And yeah, also about how men and women enjoy porn. I believe that's true. Men are more, as this article said, men are more into visual stimuli. If you were to give, if you were to give a man some erotica, a romantic novel, brother, this man would probably get bored. I don't think he would even read this. But as for women are more into this, like touching, speaking. That's why movies, those books like Fifty Shades of Grey, are popular amongst women, right? Because it has a plot, has like, big rich guy, and a woman who's submissive, right? So yeah, it's basically like porn in a book. Simple as that. Okay, another screenshot. What is the root cause of porn addiction? And we have this Dr. Gregory Popcak shared the root cause behind porn addiction with Calvin and Ice. He noticed that problematic use and addiction are related to attachment wounds. Those with an insecure attachment have difficulty with building and maintaining intimate relationships. So, insecure attachment style is when you have this attachment style that, you're all overthinking. You're just not sure about your partner. Like, oh, is she cheating on me right now? I just have to make sure. I'm going to call her or whatever. I'm going to like spy her or whatever. There are many attachment styles. I didn't got much more like deep into it, but I know the like the main problems like with attachment styles, right? Especially with this insecure. I personally don't know what attachment style that I had like in a couple of years ago, but that's not a video about me. Yeah, as I said, insecure attachment style. You're just going to be quite unsure. You're not going to be trust. You're just not going to trust your partner. You're not going to be you try. You're not going to be trustworthy yourself, right? Your natural wiring for happy and healthy relationship is broken. You may notice that you're drawn to intimacy, but you're scared off by it. The deeper your wounds, the more intense your reward-based needs are. I think that was also the case with me. When I was addicted to pornography and when I was healing from this, I was drawn to intimacy. I was now quite um um no, I was drawn to intimacy, drawn to this idea of having a relationship, but I was also quite scared by it. What will I do? And I'm just overthinking in general. What will I do? How am I going to be in this relationship? Just this typical overthinking, right? So maybe I had an insecure attachment style. I don't even know myself. Yeah, the deeper your wants, the more intense your reward-based needs are. Porn is where you can experience intimacy without a relationship. So what we can translate to normal into English is basically just like cheating your brain, basically. It's similar to the thrill that people get from casual hookups and affairs. Um, yeah, porn is where you can experience intimacy without a relationship. Basically, you're cheating your brain, that you're having sex with a real woman, um, but basically you're just there giving your seed away, right? But yeah, insecure attachment style. I think it's the root cause of this porn addiction. Also, this part of the article said is basically this attachment style that you're just overthinking. You want happy, happy relationship, but you're just because of this porn addiction, you constantly overthink, right? Because you're just so addicted to this, so overstimulated, right? But yeah, I'm not going to speak more about it because I'm not expert on those attachment styles. I know the foundations, but I don't know more than that. So I'm going to make a research about it like on my private. And yeah, maybe I'm going to talk about this attachment styles in the future. We'll see. But yeah. So those were the reasons why the deeper reasons why women get addicted to pornography. So without further ado, let's just sorry. Without further ado, let's just go to another point right now.
Yes, I know it's kind of a different environment. As I said, I don't record this in a one in a like one moment. I'm not recording this on a one go. I'm recording this in clips, so don't worry that. So do not be worried that my audio quality is much better because I finally have a mic, and I've also got a new phone. But yeah, that doesn't matter. But what I want to say is how do you, as I mentioned those points, right? I'm quickly gonna mention them to you. So I brought negative how pornography affects women. So we've been talking about negative body image, more shame and guilt, why women get addicted like this, like trying to go deeper into this stuff, right? But you may ask, Christian, how do you break free from this addiction? How do you break as a woman? How can I break free from this? Well, my answer is going to be quite simple. And when it comes to this aspect, yes, women are kind of different when it comes to they experienced kind of different um, negative consequences of their pornography usage, but they're not that different. Women are more vulnerable, vulnerable to negative body image. They also get more shame and guilt, and also deeper reason why women get addicted to porn is just as I mentioned, could be like some just deeper wound, right? Lack, for example, a father figure, you know. But it's also pretty similar to men. And what you need, and I'm not entirely talking to women here. I'm also talking to my boys here and also to many people here who are going to watch this video. You need accountability. You need accountability not only from people, not only from people who you know, but also from yourself. I've mentioned this again. I've mentioned this many times. If you realize if you realize that you are addicted to pornography, if you realize this, that is the first step to breaking an addiction. Because realizing that you're addicted is a very important point, is a much important point. Because people can be, as I said, people can literally get addicted to anything, and especially in this modern world. Being addicted to drugs, being addicted to alcohol, to vapes, to pornography, to video games is simple in this world. It's very simple. And you can get addicted to, as I said, literally anything. And people trying to cope that they're not addicted, but they are playing video games 10 hours a day. They are just eating junk food constantly instead of doing actually something purposeful in life. If you realize that you are addicted, that's the first point to actually getting rid of this. And listen, as I've mentioned about accountability, if you for example, going to say to, for example, I don't know, your closest ones, right, that you are addicted, it kind of brings off this burden that you're not with this alone, right? But as I'm mentioning this, you can tell a person that, oh, I'm addicted to pornography or video games, to junk food. Yes, it's all cool, but realize that the person that you said that you're addicted to something, is not going to break addiction for you. Listen, I would love to get rid of your porn addiction, your any other addiction for you. I would really love to. But you have to experience the trials of tribulation of breaking free from an addiction. Because remember, this is a story that you are going to have. And I want to mention something. You may think that I'm kind of resentful towards my porn addiction, that I regret that I was addicted to pornography. I regret that I was socially awkward. I regret that that I was having down bad moments. I regret that I was watching some down bad shit. And my answer to this reply would be no, I don't. I don't actually regret it. This is a part sorry, this is a part of my life that I'm maybe not proud of, but this is a part of my life that will stay with me forever. And this is a story that I can tell to people, that I can speak about and influence others and make other people know that pornography is, and just like drugs, just an addictive substance, right? So you have to go through trials and tribulation. You are going to relapse. You're going to make some stupid decisions. But remember, you have to learn from your mistakes. You either learn from your mistake, or you're going to make the same mistakes dozens of times until you fucking learn. That was the case in my example. You know how many same mistakes I had to repeat to fucking learn? Really. So again, accountability. Be accountable with yourself. Tell a person that you are addicted. It may help you. Maybe go also to a therapist or whatever. But I would really suggest to get rid of this addiction for yourself, because you can, as I said, you can go talk to a person about it. But the only one who is going to break this addiction is only you. You have to go through trials and tribulation. You have to go through the moments when your mind is going to tell you, oh, go watch some pornography. No, nothing is going to happen, right? That nothing is, it's okay. No, but you have to stand up for yourself. You have to think about your future self. Your future self doesn't want you to be addicted. I believe that my future self is looking at me while I'm studying, while I'm working, and he just looks at me with pride. He knows, or when I'm exercising, or when I'm eating clean, he looks at me like, you will be there, bro. You will be there. You will reach success. And that's what I'm expecting from you. Honestly, you will reach success. How you will reach this? What path you are going to go? If you listen, as I mentioned this already, accountability. Go tell a person, for example, to just leave this burden, right? To leave to let this burden, so be kind of ease for you. But other people are not going to break this addiction for you. I would love to. I would genuinely love to. I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. I genuinely want to, but I cannot. But what I also told you, and I want to repeat this, is when you eventually break free, and the path is not going to be easy. You're going to have moments when you want to relapse. You're going to have moments when you just want to throw it away, and it's going to take time. As I said, it's going to take time. It's not something that it's going to take 1 week, 2 weeks to break. If you are a person who was, watching pornography, masturbating to it for example, in my example, for damn nearly 8 years, or maybe, or whatever, right? It's going to take time. For my case to break an addiction, it was like 1 year and a half of constantly learning from my mistakes, of constantly learning new things. In the best case scenario, it's going to take a couple of months. In the worst case scenario, it's going to take a couple of years. But I don't want you to be demotivated when it's going to take a couple of years, because eventually it is going to work. It's all about delayed gratification. Really. Do something. Replace this bad habit with something meaningful to you. Exercising, eating clean, just trying to be better friend, better family member, better daughter, or whatever, better son. I'm talking to everyone here, not only women. Try to do everything in your power to be free, because porn addiction is just like a chain on our hands. It destroys our mind. It destroys our body image, especially for women. It brings shame and guilt. I don't know, it brings destruction, but it literally destroys our life. And why you got addicted? It's honestly, that's not that important. What's important is if you can break free from this, if you don't make any excuses. Because if you're going to make excuses, oh, I didn't have a father figure in my life, so I'm just going to be addicted to porn for the rest of my life. No. If you didn't have a father figure in your life, I'm talking to my boys here. If you didn't have a father figure in your life, find one, or be the father that you never had, or find a person. But for everyone here, don't make any excuses. If you are going to break free from this addiction, I will honestly be very proud for you. I will be. But remember, be accountable. Replace this bad habit with something meaningful to you. Exercise, clean, journal, eat clean, of course. Exercise, eat clean, journal, meditate. Improve your life in general. Be outside. You ain't got any idea how those simple things as going outside, just being outdoors, is going to help you a lot. Those simple things. So people laugh at those things. People think that you need some kind of specialist to get rid of this addiction. And I don't. And my point here is, you can go to a therapist. You can go talk about your problem. But what you ultimately are going to do after this session depends on you. Doing something about this problem is better than talking about it. Go to your significant other, go to your family member or whatever, your sibling, and tell them, or maybe your closest friend, and tell them that you're addicted. Tell your story. But after this, I expect you the next day, or even after this conversation, to break free from addiction, to break free from any addiction, to improve your life. Talking about the problem is not the same as actually solving this problem. Accountability. Be accountable to yourself. If you know that you're addicted, this is the first point to getting rid of this addiction. And I know that you will reach this success. Let's go to another point. So this is going to be the end of the video. And no, we've covered many things, like why the deeper reason why women get addicted to pornography, how women can break free from pornography, the specific downsides of women watching pornography. There were a couple of them, but for most of the time, we're not that special when it comes to this addiction. We have few differences. Like women are more sensitive, they are more vulnerable to negative body image, and they are more shameful and guilty because of their porn consumption. But rest of this, I would say, is pretty similar. But what I want to share something with you is when I was reading this, right? When I was researching for this topic, this is it, and I want to read this whole thing, and this is exactly why I'm doing what am I doing right now. I want to help as many people who are addicted from pornography as much as possible and improve their life through self-improvement in general, right? I just want to read this all, and by the end of me reading this, you will understand why am I even recording this video, why am I even recording those videos, because this is my purpose. But okay, I'm going to read this. Yep, all right, we can go now. Okay, so let me read this. The most dangerous playground is now in our kids' pockets. Hardcore pornography on digital devices is damaging America's children. With more than half of the children in the US now owning smartphones by age 11, and the time kids spend on digital devices averaging 4 to 7 hours per day, we can't deny the incredible influence of the online world. And while this technology offers many benefits to kids when it comes to both learning and entertainment, the ease with which young children can access hardcore pornography on digital devices is deeply troubling and damaging their development. Hardcore pornography and children on digital devices. So let me read this. Readily available. In a survey which sampled 1,358 teens aged 13 to 17, 73% reported that they had consumed pornography. This is 75% of boys and 70% of girls of exposed children. 15% first saw pornography at age 10 or younger, and 54% at age 13 or younger. A search of slang sexual terms quickly yields a myriad of results that include hardcore videos and pictures. No proof of age is required. Frequently violent. The same survey found that 52% of 13 to 17-year-olds exposed to pornography, 73% of sample saw violent pornography, including choking, 36%, someone in pain, 37%, or depictions of what appeared to be rape, 19%. I'm not done yet. Poorly controlled. Technology corporations have placed the burden on parents, schools, and even children to protect themselves from pornography, and government agencies have been slow to recognize and address childhood pornography exposure and exploitation to children online. They're not gonna block porn sites because this is fucking money, bro. You know how much this industry makes fucking money? Virtually all devices have built-in filters to block pornography, but the filters are turned off when devices are activated. By mandating that cell phones and tablets default to safety upon activation, parents can more easily protect their children from destructive content. I'm not done yet. There's a second side. There's a second page. Damage caused by childhood exposure to pornography. Adolescents are more susceptible than adults to addictions and to developmental effects on the brain. Accordingly, there are many potential negative consequences related to children viewing pornography, and there are going to be those negative consequences. Sexual violence. Longitudinal research shows that childhood exposure to violent pornography predicts a nearly six-fold increase in self-reported sexually aggressive behavior later in life. A meta-analysis of 37 studies found that exposure to violent or rape pornography increased a child's odds of experiencing sexual exploitation by nearly 3 times. Sharing of self-produced child sexual abuse material. In 2020, 34% of 13 to 14-year-olds said it is normal for kids to share self-generated nude photos of themselves with others. Sending, receiving, and asking someone for nude images is significantly associated with pornography use among boys and girls. Sexting, when involving minors, is legally classified as child sexual abuse material child pornography, which is a serious U.S. federal crime. Child sexual exploitation. Self-generated imagery now accounts for nearly a third of web pages featuring sexual images of children, child pornography. Poor academic achievement. The more adolescent boys view pornography online, the poorer their grades are. Low academic performance among adolescents is linked with poor social skills, aggressive behavior, and earlier sexual intercourse. Mental and social disorders. Use of hardcore pornography is linked to harmful outcomes such as mental health problems, child-on-child harmful sexual behaviors, risky sexual behaviors, and physical and sexual victimization. Long-term pornography use. Among males, younger age of first exposure to pornography has been linked to higher rates of pornography use later in life, as well as the viewing of animal and child sexual abuse material, an example, child pornography as adults. Links to prostitution. Frequent male users of pornography are significantly more likely to have sold and purchased sex than other males the same age. So, as you see, there are many studies here. I think all of the research is going to be in the description. So yeah, I'm not putting this shit. I'm not like just putting this shit out of my ass. It's going to be it's going to be in the description for you to watch. But what? Let's. I think it's last. Yeah. Let's read the last paragraphs. What youth say about the impact of their exposure to pornography? So yeah, we're going to read. 19-year-old male said, "Because of porn, I have slowly become unsociable towards my friends and family, and I have never been able to have a romantic relationship with anyone besides the screen of my computer." 16-year-old female said, "I think pornography has made me react positively to non-consensual sex and violence against women." 18-year-old male said, "I've been struggling for so long, and it's taxing on my mind and my body. I'm tired and have little motivation, which often leads to me skipping homework assignments and social gatherings just because of porn. I'm honestly scared for my future, my relationships, and my well-beings." And you probably know this female, and you probably know her, female pop star Billie Eilish. She was 19. Yeah, I think it really destroyed my brain, and I feel incredibly devastated that I was exposed to so much porn. And that's all what I read. So I have read this for you to for myself, especially, that this is my purpose, that helping guys, people in general, get off pornography, get rid of their addiction, and just improve their lives, improve people's life in general through self-improvement, is one of my goals, and just my purpose in life. And I'm not only doing this for myself, but I'm also doing this for others. And when I was reading this, I was extremely devastated, because when I was reading this sentence, first saw pornography at age 10 or younger, I was extremely fucking disgusted, because that was the same age. I think I was about 11, but yeah, it's no wonder people get addicted to this stuff. So I've said this many times. The deeper reason why people get addicted to pornography. You need accountability. You need accountability from yourself, from others, whatever. Improve your life. Get rid of this this is a distraction. You need to get off this habit. This extremely bad habit. Be accountable. Replace this habit with someone else. I don't know. Change your environment. Don't sit at your home too much. What can I even say? I'm extremely proud that you, the person who watched this video, have watched this to this moment, because first of all, there's a project that took me quite a while. I think I would end this sooner, but because of my university, I didn't have much time. But I honestly grateful that I managed to end this, because when I start a project, I end this, and it's simple as that. I'm not someone who just skips the project mid. I'm just not the type of person who just skips the project and like, well, whatever, I'm going to finish this later. Yeah, finish this later, but you have to finish it. And yeah, I hope that this video helped you some way, that you can now understand the second side of pornography, because guys, listen, men are not the only people who can get addicted to this stuff. And I hope that you can get off this stuff, man or woman, doesn't matter. I just want you to say, be accountable. You will get off this. Imagine your life when you get off this shit. Think ahead. And my final words for you, to you, are stay hard, because nobody will save you. The only person who can save you is the person I'm pointing right now. Peace out.